So, Civil Aviation Minister K. Ram Mohan Naidu today informed that the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has given an order for extended surveillance of the 34 Boeing 787 planes which are currently present in the Indian aircraft fleet. He added that out of them, 8 have already been inspected with immediate urgency. He held a press media briefing in New Delhi today, informing that a high-level committee of experts from various sectors is also formed to look into the investigation of the incident. And to get more on the story, we are now connected with Meghna Dev, our correspondent from Ahmedabad. Meghna, how's the preliminary investigation into the plane crash coming along? Has the cockpit voice recorder been recovered yet?
What we are given to understand, Tanvi, that obviously from the rooftop, the black box was recovered. It will be able to help in in-depth investigation. Besides that, obviously, we know that the black box is made in such a manner that it can withstand intense impact, pressure, temperature, so that it so that it is not lost or destroyed in such untoward situations and incidents. But having said that, it will be very crucial because sometimes it takes weeks to months to decode it, weeks to months to probably completely analyze it, and it is extremely crucial for the investigation in terms of what happened in the cockpit that day. What was the conversation, what were the parameters, how all of this happened. But besides that, definitely other investigation in terms of other parameters, were they checked or not, where was the loophole, or why did this happen. There are several questions which the Investigation Bureau is already continuously working on. Obviously, the government clearly has a stand that this investigation will be done on a fast-track mode. Several experts are being consulted. Experts from UK and US have already arrived and they are on their work. We did see FSL teams today in at the crash site. They were collecting evidence. They were collecting forensic evidence as well. So it is extremely crucial, not only in terms to investigate, but also ensure that learnings from this and measures from this would help enhance air safety, take stricter measures, as we saw the Union Minister for Civil Aviation also speak about how inspection is being done, and the entire fleet, the 787 fleet, will be inspected properly, and most of it, about 8 aircrafts, have already been inspected. So this is extremely crucial. Now in the days to come, we'll be able to understand that obviously the call was given by the pilot, but they didn't have time. They knew that they were going to crash in any second. They were going to crash. So all of this will be taken into consideration, and the investigation will happen obviously on international standards and parameters, which will probably help to identify bit by bit, or probably join all the pieces to understand that how this tragic crash happened.
Okay, Meghna, we know that charred remains are making the DNA matching process much more challenging. But how long will it take to finish the DNA profiling process? And also tell us, have any bodies been returned to the families?
Yes, at the moment I have this update from the state administration, where they have said that the closest relative who provided the DNA sample should come in person to the hospital. If this is not possible, another close family member can come instead, and the person collecting the body must bring the documents which establishes the deceased identity in terms of photo ID, Aadhaar card, passport, voter ID, document also providing relationship that the person has to the deceased. Besides, obviously the documents that will be provided by the hospital include a file which has the postmortem report, death certificate, all other necessary documents. Or if there is a lack of documents providing the relationship or identity of the deceased after the phone call from the hospital, the relatives can contact the local Mamlatdar, collector, or provincial officer for that matter. What we also understand that as soon as this plane accident was reported, a team of about 250 doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, social workers did rush to the trauma center to provide immediate relief. But as a result, currently, obviously, we know that we have been seeing continuously at the civil hospital also, that DNA collection is going on, and as a result 9 new DNA samples were successfully matched. The body of one victim has already been handed over to the relatives, and further investigation in terms of the DNA sampling is still being carried out. Obviously, the team is continuously working because it's a very sensitive procedure in terms of the sample matching, and obviously there is a collaboration between the Forensic Science Laboratory as well as the National Forensic Science Institute to match the DNA samples quickly. But as you said, Tanvi, the bodies are fragmented, severely charred, so it is very difficult to get probably the matching, but also the test gets very difficult because the profiling, the kind of sample, the profiling in the sample that they need becomes extremely difficult because the bodies are extremely charred, burned, literally very burned in a very severe manner. So that makes it even difficult for the team to identify the DNA and then match the samples. So we definitely see that this is one procedure that is continuously going on. But what we get to understand that if they are able to quickly identify or get the complex of the DNA, it gets easier and quicker for them to identify the test and get the test results. But sometimes in some cases it takes a few days or maybe several days also to identify the DNA. So we are hoping that the medical team and the forensics experts that are working on it are continuously trying to get as many samples matched as possible and hand over the mortal remains to the relatives and the people who are waiting. Besides that, also, as we were also showing in our report, the hospital will be transporting the mortal remains to the homes, and also Air India will be facilitating anywhere the mortal remains are to be taken via any flight or by air. So that is also which Air India will be assisting with.
Okay, we leave it here. Thank you very much, Meghna, for reporting on the story from Ahmedabad.